I want to show you a couple live examples of what we've done with copy and generative AI. This is a creative brief that we delivered for a client. The brand name is the Shoshana, and it's a luxury postpartum oasis retreat at 5-star hotels for mothers who had just given birth. So before they go home, they could spend some time at this resort. It's expensive. It's not an easy sell. It's a reasonably new and unknown type of experience. So we were thinking through what our messaging is going to be. So I'm just going to skip ahead to our messaging angles. So this was done by just thinking through what pain points the mother might be experiencing. We did a bunch of market research. We surveyed a lot of women. Like, this was done correctly. So first-time mothers, they may feel anxious about the unknowns of childbirth and postpartum recovery. Messaging should emphasize comprehensive support, education, and guidance to build their confidence, highlighting services like individualized hands-on education, 24/7 childcare support, and expert guidance from professionals can be reassuring. So this is straight out of that workbook, right? And this is something we presented to the client. We had a few different messaging angles and mock-ups. And then we came up with sort of an insight that a mother might be resistant to this sort of luxurious treatment right after she gave birth. There's other kids to get home to, maybe, right? There's a lot of different potential defense mechanisms in this sale. So we had an angle to talk to the baby. Now, of course, the baby's not the one, the infant's not the one sitting on Instagram scrolling from the hospital bed, it's the mother. But the idea was talk to the baby. And that was that when we talked about being too on the nose or being too direct and giving the prospect and the person seeing the creative, the joy of discovery, this is exactly that insight. So here we have 3 mock-ups, and these were all created with Midjourney. I'm going to show you our Midjourney. Midjourney is a platform that you should log into and use. It's reasonably cheap, but there's also a free option. And you could create mock-ups and images that look close to lifelike. Now, these might get touched up a little bit through a graphic designer, but I'll show you, we have creatives running directly straight out of generative AI in client campaigns, and these are businesses that are $100, $200 million plus brands that are using purely generative AI creative that would have took that, and these were like creative that this was an ad campaign that would have taken weeks and tens of thousands of dollars to shoot with real actors on location. So here we have, "Mom, you deserve this, but so do I." It's sort of a cute tongue-in-cheek. "Mom, you go to floor yoga. I'm getting a fresh swaddle. Let's meet back here at 3 o'clock. Mom, labor was tough enough. Postpartum doesn't have to be." And they all come with beautiful imagery, sort of, again, talking to that baby. So this is the combination where we thought through, we went through this workbook process and came up with this idea on our own to talk to the baby. And then ChatGPT and Midjourney allowed us to put together polished creatives for a creative brief for a client, and we could charge the client now a fraction of the amount. The client's really happy. And I'll read a couple more here. "Mom, we'll be back in an hour. Mom will be back in an hour. She's just going for gentle yoga in the mother's lounge. Your mom deserves more than hospital jello. Mind telling her about us?" So it's like we're marketing to the baby. We're asking the infant to tell mom about this service. "Little one, your mom should have a 24/7 postpartum doula, not a hospital room. Tell her about us." Okay, so now how did we get these ads created? Let me show you. Here's another example for the brand Adriana Papel, a large retailer of women's gowns, dresses, wedding dresses, mother of the bride dresses, and so on. Here's an image. Bright hues, bold and bold prints. Off the shoulder sequin beaded gown in lead. This summer, who will you be? Who will you be with? This is copy that our team came up with, but look at these photographs that are running live in Meta ad campaigns. This is, and here I'll show you. Here's Adriana Papel's website. Here's one of the versions of this dress. Using Midjourney, we were able to upload a picture of the model of the actual dress and get that dress onto a model in a beautiful background. And we just added copy and a logo in Canva. And this is a beautiful, stunning image ad for Meta that again would have taken an actual photo shoot. And the same thing here is with bright hues and bold prints. And this summer, who will you be? Who will you be with? It's quite incredible. I'm going to show you another example in Midjourney itself. Here is another image, another set of images that we were working on using an Adriana Papel dress. So we were able to upload an image of the dress and use that as what they call a style reference. And this is not a long, in detail, it's not a detailed, I would say, tutorial on Midjourney, but it's just showing you what's possible. So for example, let's say let's just run one again directly. I could click here and use the text that I used. So evening dress with petaled beaded floral motif. Now you'll see that I didn't add a lot of detail here because I had given it an image reference. In some other examples, I might have added more. Here we go. Here's one with more detail in the text. And when you're working with Midjourney, you'll play around with all different types of prompt styles. So here I have a Cinestill 800T. This is referencing the type of camera. So I want a little bit of a grainy, but like photorealistic look. Photograph of a woman with a dimensional floral sequin single shoulder dress. The camera looks up at her as she descends a spiral stone staircase. Evening lights, glamour. So let's say I were to run this again. I could click on settings and change my orientation. So instead of landscape, I might want it for Meta as a square. Stylization is your toggle. It's your sort of slider to give Midjourney more freedom to drift away from your prompt and explore more creative styles. So I'll bring that to 0, weirdness and variety to 0. Speed I'll put on, it doesn't matter, it's just a matter of how many credits you use. And version 7 with four options. So I'm going to click create. And under create, up here, we're going to see the renders beginning. And let's see what we get. And this is all in real time. You could see how fast this is going. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now none of these might be usable, right, necessarily, but here's something that's pretty interesting. And I like the spiral staircase from the top down. I like the way the model looks. But if I want to vary, I can just click vary, subtle, or strong. So if I want 4 subtle variants, I can click subtle. If I want 4 strong variants where I'm telling Midjourney to keep this basic style, but give me like more, let's say, a greater variety of changes from this original image, I'll click strong. So here in my subtle, you'll see like her hand is a little bit different. She's in a slightly different position, right? But it's all roughly the same. These are subtle changes. I happen to like this one the most, I think, out of these 4. But and here you'll see in the stronger variety, it's changing her orientation more dramatically. It's changing the staircase a little bit. It's changing her pose. It's changing the flowers, but it still keeps the same theme of the image. So if I were to go back here and say, hey, this is the one I like the most, it's the one that looks most realistic, I could upscale it. But instead of upscaling it, and that will give me a higher resolution version, I could download. I could drag my new image in. I could put it below my copy. And I could say something like, the evening is about to begin. I don't know why I wrote that. I could edit the image in Canva if I want to give it a filter, if I want to make it black and white. Let's say we say, hey, let's make this let's give this a black and white filter. And I might say, okay, look, let's send this to the client and see what they think. Right, but like this is pretty incredible stuff where this would have, it's not easy to have gotten, and keep in mind that these dresses, right, because I uploaded to Midjourney a style reference, a clip of the dress, this is not just a general stock image. This is a woman wearing the client's dress. So it's really, really powerful. And once you get into video and more sophisticated carousel images, what you could do on your computer with some thinking, with some creative prompts for copy and imagery is really outrageous and really phenomenal. So let me leave you with this one idea. People click because you reflected something back at them. A frustration, a fear, a desire, something that they want, something that's going to make them feel a certain way, a product or service that's going to solve an emotional pain. Keep that in mind while you're using generative AI, which doesn't have feelings. It's soulless. It will give you ideas, but whatever you're doing, make sure that it resonates in your own heart. Trust your body. Like you'll feel your goosebumps on your arms. You'll feel a little knot in your stomach. You'll feel something emotional welling up inside you. That's when you know you're writing things that matter. Again, as a recap, start with the moment, frame the visual with copy, use AI to help you think, and design the ads hierarchy. Follow along with, use the workbook that you now have access to, keep that handy, and you also have access to a completely free custom GPT from the Modern Marketing Institute that's going to help you think through metaphors, angles, creativity, and visuals. And you're ready to go. You could build high quality creatives that will rival the best stuff that billion-dollar agencies and brands are putting out in under 15 minutes. I really am, I cannot wait to see what you guys create, what you build. Send it over to me, comment in the membership area with the ads and the visuals and the videos that you guys are making with generative AI. And I'm so excited to see what you all produce. We'll see you in the next module.